Hey peeps, welcome back. We're talking The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 11. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. So Andy told Deadline that he believes that Jen Shaw returning to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is off the table. However, he is a huge fan of Monica, and there will be a conversation regarding her returning in the future. So I think that if they had Monica and Bronwyn in the same season, it would be extremely interesting. I would love to find out if those two would get along, or if they would be on opposite sides. But I have a feeling that Bronwyn and Monica would probably team up. They also released the cast of the TV show The Traitors. I love that show. If you don't watch it, get into it. It's on the Peacock. So usually they always have Bravo celebrities on the show. The ones of interest to me is Chanel Ayan from The Real Housewives of Dubai, Dorinda Medley from New York, Robin from Potomac, which, by the way, Andy says that there is some sort of universe where Robin would absolutely be welcome back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I have a feeling if not next season, maybe the season after that, Robin may be back, which, if I'm being honest, I really don't want that. Dolores from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules, which, by the way, for those of you who watched the Vanderpump Rules, Bravo did announce that Vanderpump Rules will be back, but it will be back with an all-new cast. It will kind of be as if they're starting all over from the very beginning with the cast of people who work at SUR. So it'll kind of be as if it was when it first came out. There's also someone going to be on called Sierra Miller. I have no idea what show she's from. I just know that it's something from Bravo. It's a show that I don't watch. I'm not sure who she is, but I can tell you she looks really beautiful. All right, so let's get into the show. I will tell you, I will be all over the place with this review. Let's get into the show. So the show starts out and Heather and Whitney have decided that they are going to put together a little outdoor event, a little Girl Scout troop. You know, something fun and, for the ladies to do. Hopefully something that'll bring the ladies together, have a few laughs, have a few jokes, play a few games, eat some good food, and have a little ice cream. So Heather's over at Whitney is getting everything together. Now, one thing I have to say, did anybody notice how fast Heather types? She was doing her draft of the invite in her notes and she was typing fast with one finger. I tell you what, not me, girl. If you think that you're about to get fast one finger action from me, you are about to get all kinds of grammatical errors, misspellings. I mean, it's going to be bad. I'm just saying I am not fast on the cell phone. Absolutely not. So Whitney does what Whitney does, and she tries to throw some shade about Meredith, calling her miserable. And I think this was, it's what Whitney does. She was trying to get Heather to fall into the trap and start talking shit about Meredith along with her. Misery loves company. But Heather said, oh no, you are not about to get me to fall into this. I said, good. Finally, you are paying attention, Heather, and you are not being sucked into this bullshit with Whitney, because this is how Whitney does it. It seems like no matter which girl comes to her house, she figures out a way to start shit talking one of the other ladies and get whoever's with her drawn right in. Nope, it didn't work this time. Then Whitney gives the standard what they always say. I really do love her, but, I just don't like her right now. Bullshit. Because when you really love someone, you can figure out how to work things out. And that's what they all say. They all say, oh my God, I really love her. But, right now I just really don't like her. And she's doing this to me and she's doing this to me. All of them are professional victims. I don't understand it. I really don't. Heather says, well, I don't know Bronwyn well enough to love her or hate her. And then she proceeds to talk shit about Bronwyn. I said, you have a lot of judgments for this woman that you don't know. How is that when you don't know her? Then she makes some kind of comment about she gets nervous when she walks away from the table that Bronwyn may be saying something bad about her. Well, first of all, it says a lot about you that you're concerned of what Bronwyn may say about you. And it reminds me of when I was a kid and I would run to my mom and say that such and such said that my head was big or something. And my mom would say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. You know what I mean? As a grown up, I'm not giving a shit what Cheryl says about me when I leave the table, because clearly Cheryl must be afraid to say it to my face. I think this says that Heather is insecure and she may need to see somebody about it. That's just my opinion. So Meredith is still very upset. And something in me says that Meredith is only doing this for storyline purposes, because this, bar mitzvah storyline is not really given. You know what I mean? And we've had several episodes this season without Meredith. And the show still went on. We had a good old time without Meredith. So I think Meredith said, oh, this gives me a bit of an opening. So she's waiting around at this gallery for Mary. However, Mary is late because Mary is going through some things. She's struggling a little bit with her situation with her son. And she arrives a little late. By a little late, she arrives like an hour late. Yikes. That would have ticked me off too, if I'm being honest. At least drop me a text and say, I'm on my way. I'm sorry I got stuck in traffic. Just bring up something, anything. You stopped to build a damn snowman, something. Let me know that I would be sitting around this gallery in these heels. Meredith looked really nice though, didn't she? Drinking wine for an hour. Anyway, she's very upset. She feels like Mary threw her out of the house. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was very clear that Mary was not throwing Meredith out. She was very clear in yelling at both Meredith and Angie and telling them both to sit down and be quiet. And if you can't be quiet, then leave my house. That is what she said. And then after that, when Meredith decided to throw this little pity party for her, you're ganging up on me, you're pecking on me, and she decided that she was not welcome. And she was leaving. She was very theatrical, very dramatic. And it wasn't just because of those bangs. She was just dramatic, I said, well, what the hell is going on? Mary said to her, please don't leave, Meredith. When Meredith walked over to Mary, Mary hugged her and said, I love you. Let's go in the other room and talk. I'm not asking you to leave. Please don't leave. Don't do this to me, Meredith. If somebody really wanted you to get the hell out of their house, do you think they would say, don't do this to me, Meredith? Please don't leave. I love you. Absolutely not. In my opinion, Meredith wanted to leave because Angie was tearing her ass up and she didn't have any comebacks and she was embarrassed by that. Has to be, because Angie understood what the hell was going on and she sat right back down and continued to drink her good wine and enjoy the lunch. Meredith is not fooling anybody. She is using this for storyline purposes. She jumped up out of there and left because Angie was tearing her ass up and she is the one who started it. If she would have just said, all right, Angie, I see where you're coming from. I see where Sean is coming from. I know we've had this conversation 32 damn times. Let's just drop it. She ends up calling her kids and telling her kids that she's still standing around this gallery and Mary hasn't shown up. And Brooke says the same thing as Meredith. Something must be going on because this is not the way Mary behaves. And she says it has to be something going on. So clearly, Mary and Meredith were really close at some point. Close enough for Meredith to realize that something is going on with Mary, that this is not her normal behavior. So we all know that Mary is really struggling. She says that Robert Jr. is not the Robert Jr. that he's always been. He was always an honor student. He was really a good son, a go-getter. He was very active. He was always up under his mother, talking to her, sharing with her, being her son, the baby that she knows. And now he's either out all night or sleep all day. He's very quiet and she is extremely concerned. And so this is probably all the things that is just on her mind constantly. And when Mary arrives at the gallery, she doesn't apologize to Meredith for being late because I don't think it even crossed her mind. However, my thought was with Meredith saying to herself there and in the confessionals and with the children that she believes there's something going on with Mary, there was definitely a better way to approach this conversation. They were both very passive aggressive. There was a lot of eye rolling and eye blinking. I said, what the hell is this? I personally would have said, hey, Mary, can you sit down? Would you like a glass of wine or whatever that was, champagne or whatever? And then just tell her, is everything okay? Are you all right? You're my friend. I know we had this incident at your house the other day, but I don't even care about that right now. Are you all right? As a friend, you have to go that extra mile. Mary, who is going through something, is clearly in her feelings and she doesn't give a shit. At this point, she is taking out her frustration and anger with the situation that's going on in her life. She's bringing that shit to Meredith because Meredith is coming to her with the bullshit. I don't want to see the demise of this friendship. I think that Meredith and Mary were truly good friends. I don't like that somewhere in the episode, Meredith makes some kind of comment that Mary was using her. When you're really truly friends with someone, it's not using. You know what I mean? She's not using you. I do realize what Meredith is saying. There was times where none of the girls were really friends with Mary, but Meredith was, and she was there for Mary. So I know what she's saying, but you cannot be the perpetual victim. You cannot use this every time something doesn't go your way or something doesn't work out. And I hate that they ended up on such a bad note with Mary telling her, you storming out of my house, you ruined the friendship. And I can see why Mary said that, because Mary, in front of all the group, she stood there and she told Meredith, I love you. I'm not asking you to leave. Please don't do this. She did all of that. So, it's Meredith. Meredith is the problem in this situation. To be honest, I feel sorry for Meredith and Mary because I don't think that they wanted to not be friends. Meredith believes that Mary is on Angie's side and taking sides with Angie, but that is not how that worked out. Mary did not jump to sides. She told both of them to shut up and stop it. I really wish that Meredith would have listened. Lisa set up a meeting with Angie's daughter, and her son Henry, and I really was not there for it. I think this was so ridiculous. Lisa sat there the entire time, gaslighting, over-talking her, not listening to her, not letting her get a word in the entire time. She was so manipulating, and Angie fell for the shit. Angie apologized to Lisa 4 times in this conversation, and I did not hear Lisa apologize not once. And I said, did Lisa Barlow just put on a damn masterclass in how to gaslight, manipulate, and agitate to the point of apology? I mean, damn, Lisa Barlow is good at this shit. She always seems to be able to get Angie to say, I'm sorry. Lisa has not accepted responsibility for one thing the entire time. Now, I do agree that when Angie made that comment that Lisa doesn't trust her, Lisa shouldn't trust you, Angie. Lisa made the comment that she doesn't care if Whitney and Angie are friends. She just doesn't want Angie picking sides, which I also understand. Lisa was right to say that she doesn't trust Angie because Angie went back and told everything to Whitney. You broke trust when you did that. But it was pretty bad. Angie got manipulated terribly. It was Angie apologizing over and over again. I said, damn, Lisa is really good at deflection. She really is. And then Lisa told Angie that she was very hurt that she did not defend her and listen to her side. And I said, well, Bronwyn has been saying that to you forever, that you don't defend her and you don't listen to her side. However, you want Angie to defend you and listen to your side. Absolutely not, ma'am. Lisa did bring up the bad mom situation with Angie, and Angie tells her right there to her face, I never said that you were a bad mom. I do not think that you are a bad mom. I just think you're a bad friend. And I'm glad that Angie told her, you are a bad friend, Lisa Barlow. And if you don't realize that you're the bad friend by now, you're never going to realize it. So the girls were getting ready to go to this troop event, and they were talking about who's gone to sleepaway camp, who hasn't. I went to sleepaway camp once, and I'm telling you, the whole time I was there, I called my mom each and every day. You know what? I was very clingy to my mom, even until yesterday. I am extremely clingy with my mom. It is so weird. I am attached at the hip with that lady. Anyway, this is not about me. Mary is riding up to the camp troop event with Angie, and they spend their time in the car just slaughtering Meredith. I said, well, shit, this is ridiculous. Mary is still on 10 about her conversation with Meredith. And she says that Meredith had the nerve to get angry with her for showing up late. And she says, well, if Meredith would rent a house in Park City and stop renting in Salt Lake, maybe she could be on time more often. I said, oh, gosh. Mary says she's got too much going on in her life to care what Meredith thinks or how Meredith feels right now. Angie says that she thought it was funny as hell that Meredith stormed out of Mary's event, but she wasn't too upset to grab her parting gift. And these damn editors and producers are so shady. They threw in pictures of Meredith and her bangs taken off with that gift. I said, oh, this is terrible. Angie then says she thought that Meredith was going to run off with Mary's Armani statue. And Mary said, and where was she going to put it? In her Airbnb. I said, damn it, y'all have got to stop doing this. Stop doing this. Bronwyn is in the car with Lisa and Meredith, and they bring up the fact that Meredith left out of Mary's house in a huff, and Lisa says, well, she kicked you out. Lisa, that's bullshit, and you know it. Mary did not kick Meredith out. You are just trying to get Meredith to still be pissed with Mary, in my opinion. Meredith tells them what happened at the meetup, and of course, she's a victim. She says that Mary is upset with me because she thinks it's rude that I left her house. Lisa says, but you were hurt. Lisa, who gives a damn that Meredith was hurt? Meredith was hurt because she didn't want to listen. And she is wearing hearing aids. And I think she's got them set on selective hearing. She only wants to hear what the hell she wants to hear. And at that moment, Angie was tagging her ass so bad, she wanted to hear somebody say, get the hell out of my house. And that's why she stormed off with her parting gift. Mary believes that her relationship with Meredith was one-sided. She says because Meredith is a lot like Lisa and she only thinks about herself. She says, well, we'll just pray for Meredith. I said, oh, God. Bronwyn surprised me a little bit. She makes this comment that she was surprised she got an invite because it came from Whitney and Heather. And, you know, Heather doesn't like her. And Meredith says she was surprised, too, because it came from Whitney. Then Bronwyn makes the comment that she was surprised to see that they were doing something together because Whitney has not spoken very kindly about Heather. And I said, oh no. Oh no. I said, Bronwyn, what are you doing? And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, Bronwyn. Out of all the girls in the group, Whitney and Angie have been the nicest to you. Why would you throw Whitney under the bus like that? And then to do it in front of Lisa. I said, Lisa is absolutely not going to hold this. This is definitely going to be thrown out there. She is definitely going to tell Heather, and it's not going to be a good look for Bronwyn at the moment. And that's exactly what happened. Then here the hell comes Brittany. I said, who the hell invited her? Heather, I'm sure. Then that Miley girl showed up, and I'd just like to say, who is she? I think that she was supposed to be a bigger part of the show and something happened. I don't know the ins and out of it, but I think something went down and all her scenes must have ended up on the cutting room floor because we're not getting any Miley or Maylee, whatever. This is not good. If anybody knows what the hell went down with that, put it in the comments. Let your girl know. Meredith decides that she wants to learn how to build a fire. And I said, well, shit, half the work is already done. You've got a candle lighter with you. It's not like y'all on Survivor and all you have is a machete and flint. Girl, please set them damn pieces of wood up so you can block the damn wind and set this fire going. When Mary pulls up, Lisa goes all the way back to 6th grade. She says, hey, you guys, Mary's here. I said, oh, God. Meredith says, well, I guess an hour late is the norm these days. That was hilarious, and it was some shade that was needed. I mean, they shaded the shit out of her on the way up. She was late. Angie did show up with the good Girl Scout cookies. Did y'all see them Thin Mints? Then, of course, we have Brittany, and she is back with Jared, I guess. I said, oh, God. Please, Bravo people, don't bring this woman back. I know this woman has a good, kind heart, but, you know, this show is for grown-ups, and she's 12. I'm sick of seeing her. I don't want to talk about Jared. I don't give a damn if they are posting with pictures of Donny Osmond. I'm sick of it. Brittany says that she's not a fame whore. That's a lie. I think so, because after each episode, she posts all these TikToks where she's singing and, you know, trying to throw shade. And I know she's just trying to launch her career. I guess she's an actress, and she also does stage plays in Salt Lake City, and she really can sing. But girl, you getting on my nerves. Then she makes this announcement that she's dating/juggling 10 guys. I said, okay. Well, didn't Angie say it was 3? I don't know if she said she was doing 3 guys or did she say she was dating 3 guys. Either way, she was very upset. And I said, well, now you just announced that it was 10. I think I would have rather gone with the 3. 10 just seems a little excessive, especially if you're still hanging out with Jared. And is he a part of the 10? Anyway, then Heather breaks down the rule BYU Mormon take on the sex, and I didn't love it. I thought it was a little weird. Something about it's not considered sex if you put the penis in the vagina, but nobody makes any movements. And my thought was, why is your penis in there then? You know what I mean? If nobody's going to make any movements, no slow stroke, no nothing, why is this happening? Producers wondered what the hell was going on too. And they asked Heather, you know, what? How does that work? And Heather says, if you go to the religious leader, if you get busted or something, and they ask you, was there thrusting, pumping, or an orgasm, and you say no to all of those, you're in the clear. Yeah, that's just dumb. Anyway, let me just go and move on, because that's stupid. And that wouldn't fly down at my local church. If you have that thing anywhere near that vagina, but that's not going to pass. Oh, Lord. The next thing you know, it gets so real. It is Bronwyn and Whitney, Lisa, Brittany, Meredith, and Mary. They all go at it.
She thinks you won't have her back because you'd rather be friends with Lisa.
I said, you trying to stay good with Lisa when Angie and I had problems with her at the time. That was costing a little bit of strain on our relationship.
Yeah, that's like when you said, can anyone ever really be friends with Lisa? You said that on that walk.
That's not true. You two told me stuff about Lisa, and I said, I don't know that version of Lisa.
Let's just get it all out.
You two told me that Lisa has you both over, and it was gonna happen to me.
It wasn't a vibe.
No,
Borrow Meredith's hearing aids, turn them up, and hear me one more time.
I don't need Meredith's hearing aids. I got 2 right here. Let's go, Ange.
Kind of offensive. Wow. We make fun of impairments now.
Mary,
It's true.
Mary, you're not around me enough. Don't make judgment calls. I don't judge you.
You're just a game. Is what
I'm
you
a
are.
game? You don't know
me. And you do mess with people.
Mary, you don't
talk
know
behind
me.
people's back all the time. You're the fakest person I think I've ever seen in
Mary,
my
you're
life.
the fakest person.
Everything
Mary,
comes out of your mouth is a lie.
Mary says that Brittany is two-faced because Angie brought up the fact that Brittany was upset with her and embarrassed her at Mary's lunch, bringing that bottle of wine to her events at her house with her church friends. Now remember, Angie said that was a $100 bottle of wine. However, before they sat down and had the lunch, Brittany had texted Angie to tell her how good the wine was and to thank her for the wine. Then she gets in front of the group and tries to front on Angie. And Mary says that's two-faced, and it really is. Everybody said, no, that's not two-faced, but it is. Don't behind the scenes thank me for the good tasting wine and telling me that you enjoyed it, then get in front of the rest of the group and try to play me like I'm some sort of idiot. Either you're pissed that I brought the wine or you loved it and you thought it was good. That's bullshit. Angie's saying to Bronwyn, borrow Meredith's hearing aids, turn them up, and hear me one more time. Meredith then says, we make fun of impairments now? But also in that same bit of yelling, Meredith says she wants to turn her hearing aid off so she didn't have to hear all of it. Now listen, on the after show, Mary did call Angie out on making that comment about the hearing aids, and Angie was able to receive it and apologize to Meredith. She wasn't really trying to go after Meredith. She was trying to be shady to Bronwyn. And, you know, that was rude. A lot of people wear hearing aids. A lot of people sometimes don't wear their hearing aids because they don't want to be made fun of. And so I think that she should not have said that. Now, the arguing with Bronwyn, I'll tell you this. I didn't think that Bronwyn should have brought up the situation with Lisa. However, Bronwyn does do a good job of defending herself. She is very articulate and she has a really good memory. She always remembers the argument that she's had with these girls, and she always remembers who said what. Production always throws in a flashback of the situation to let us know that Bronwyn is the one who's being honest. Have you noticed that? However, I would have to say that Bronwyn does have a messy side. She really showed out a little bit in this episode. She showed that she could get messy with the rest of the girls, even if she is telling the truth. She may not have wanted to do that because she did have an ally in Whitney and Angie. And it's my hope that her and Angie can make up because I liked them together. Not only that, if she keeps saying what other people told her, at some point, nobody's going to trust her. They're not going to tell her shit. And they will join together as a group to try to ice her out of this show. You know, Mary was not in a good mood, and she let Meredith know it. She said, that was ridiculous. You always want to be the victim. It's always about you. You ran out of there and nobody threw you out of the house. This was just a misunderstanding and they could have worked this out. Angie bringing up that Meredith took the parting gift when she left, that was so embarrassing. I think that Meredith was embarrassed by it. She said, it was with my things. I just grabbed all of my things. If you want it back, I'll give it back to you. I felt bad for Meredith in that moment. Lisa and Mary, I didn't see that one coming. But I hate to say it, Mary was absolutely right. Lisa is fake as hell. She really is. And the argument about that Fendi outfit is crazy as hell. The whole I wore it on TV, you wore it walking around my house or whatever. It doesn't matter. She wore it walking around your house that was recorded and it was on national TV. More people watched the episode of the show than watch what happens live. You know, I think it's ridiculous. Why even argue over this stupid outfit? The outfit is gorgeous. You both look great in it. Mary looked better in it, but still, Mary is right. You guys are fake as hell. And two-faced it as hell. Mary was right, calling Meredith out with her lack of etiquette and her rude behavior. However, you know, Mary sometimes has really bad etiquette too, if you want to keep it real. But yeah, Lisa's fake as hell, and she couldn't take Mary, not even a little bit. None of them can, really. You know, Angie telling all the people that she didn't want to be bothered with to shut the F up. Bronwyn says, if someone else tells me to shut the F up, you're never going to see me again or something. I don't know which lady said, say it again. I have no idea, but some lady said, say it again, Angie. I don't know who that was. I don't know if that was Whitney or Heather. It could have been Brittany for all I know, but daggone it, that was crazy. Then we get around to this Shabbat dinner. I hate to say it, but I think this is storyline driven. I really do. Brittany shows up there with Jared and somebody in production, I don't know who, but I like them. Somebody in production put on there, Jared, Brittany's boyfriend, ? I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, you never know what the hell is going on with both of these clout chasers. They are both trying to be famous for sure. Heather is at the damn Shabbat dinner, and Meredith's daughter asked Heather who that was when Bronwyn and Todd came in and she called Todd Allen. And I said, how many times does this woman have to tell you that her husband's name is Todd? You talk so much shit about this marriage, this man, his money, a prenup, but you don't even know the man's name is Todd. Stop calling this man Allen. Then Heather was explaining the hot dog soaking thing, jumpstart, and all this other weird stuff to Meredith's adult children. I said, nobody gives a shit and nobody wants to know it. So the only girls that were invited to the Shabbat dinner was Brittany, Heather, Lisa, and Bronwyn. So while they're sitting there having dinner, right in Heather's face, Todd announced that he had the NSA do a background check on Bronwyn. I said, well, shit. I do realize that this day and age, it's a good idea to do a little background check because you never know who the hell people are these days. But the NSA? Wow, that's a lot. You know, I thought it was hilarious that Heather tried to act as if that was really taking her aback. You are the same woman that was talking about how he is so rich, he's got all this money and he needs to protect himself and she should have a prenup and all this other stuff. So you think it's weird that this man had a background check done on her? The only thing that struck me as odd is that it was the NSA who did the background check. Then Bronwyn was at the table and she told Heather that sometimes she can be a real snarky bitch. And Todd leans over and says, don't say that. Don't say that. If Bronwyn stays on this show any longer, her and Todd are probably going to be the next couple getting a divorce. Todd crossing his arms and staring at her with his hand on his chin says that I'm your daddy. I'm in charge of you and I'm watching you and I'm watching how you behave. I don't love that. It's something about that man that irritates the bejesus out of me. I'm sick of Todd. Meredith spoke about Mary's behavior, and she says again that she really cares about Mary and she truly thinks that something is going on with Mary. And what I liked about this is Brittany backed that up and said, maybe we should just give Mary a little grace because something is possibly going on with her that's really big and happening in her life right now. And I said, well, look at that. At Mary's lunch, Mary backed up Brittany and said, hey, let's give her a chance. Let's start inviting her to stuff. You know what I mean? And so now here's Brittany doing the same for Mary. Now, this scene with Mary and Robert Jr., I'm going to tell you right now, because of the way YouTube restricts clips and everything, I can't give you guys the full scene. The full scene was about 5 or 6 minutes. But what I can say is I cried.
You will die. I wanted to die at the time.
You know how that would kill me?
I just felt like a stain. I felt like a stain. I just felt like this road wasn't for me.
If something ever happened to you, do you understand? Do you understand what happened to me? Like, I don't think I'll be like...
You're the only reason I didn't kill myself.
This scene was the realest thing that we have ever seen on any of the Real Housewives. Well, at least any of the franchises that I watch. And I know that just this one scene is going to help so many people. I wanted to say that I also believe that Robert Jr.'s wife is probably getting high as well. I have no proof of that. This is not fact. I don't know these people. But in my opinion, allegedly, I think that she is probably also getting high. This scene to me was really hard to watch, but I believe that Mary and Robert are extremely, extremely brave to put that out there. My heart goes out to Mary, Robert Jr., Robert Sr., and their entire family. But my heart also goes out to other people who are currently dealing with this same thing. This was just raw and honest. And I'm praying for their healing. Mary did announce that Robert Jr. is doing better. I believe that Andy said that Robert Jr. went to rehab? And I truly hope so. I really do. Mary should be proud of herself. I think that she handled that beautifully. She didn't yell at him. She didn't go off. She allowed him the opportunity to be vulnerable, to tell her everything that was going on. And he was comfortable enough to tell her the truth. A lot of times parents aren't able to take it and they just get upset and they start screaming, they start running, and it's hard. I think that they definitely saved somebody's life having this conversation, and her feeling as if it's her fault because she must have missed something or she didn't do something right. That's how we are as parents. We always first blame ourselves. Why didn't I see it? Why didn't I say something? Why didn't I put a stop to this? We can't always be perfect. We can't always stop things. If we could wrap our children in bubble wrap and follow them around for the rest of their lives just to protect them from the outside world, we would do it. But we can't. He said he got that Xanax from someone at a party when he was 16. Then he started mixing it with all kinds of different things, taking 30 milligram oxy and doing crazy crap. You just don't know. When they are not in your face, you don't know what's going on. She cannot blame herself. At that moment, all you can do is pick up right where you are and start the process of trying to help your child. But ultimately, your child has to help themselves. You know the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. That's the same way with anyone who is an addict of anything, even food addiction. If they are not willing to say, this is my rock bottom, I'm sick of living this way, I don't want to do this, I want to go to rehab and work the steps, it's not going to work. Him saying that he wanted to die, but the only thing that kept him alive was her. I felt that. I felt that to my core, especially when she said, thank you. Absolutely. It would kill her if something happened to him. I am praying for Mary and Robert Sr. God bless them all. And I am praying for anyone out there. If you need help, please ask, call, get help. Don't wait, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. All right, peeps, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. What did you think of this? And until next time, bye.